Hey, my friends, how y'all doing? Hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope you have a great New Year coming up, guys. I hope we all do. Man, the last few years has been crazy with the pandemic. So, anyway, we've got one more of these Gear Masters to do. So, thank you, Digital Tour Bus. I don't know if they actually are the ones who do these or not, but I try to give them credit because they probably did. So, anyway, it's Pow. We're going to check out some drum stuff. I am not super familiar with drum stuff. So she'll probably say, I do know some, but nothing like how those. It's the warning.
Hi, I'm Paulina. I am the drummer from The Warning, and right now we're in the North American leg of our Error World Tour. It's the second leg we're doing here in the US, and we're very excited. We just released a new song that is called More, and this is one of the first times that we've been playing it throughout this tour, so it's been really cool. I've actually had to modify my kit to play that new song, so I'm gonna walk you through it. This is a DW performance series, and she's called Bonbon, which is marshmallow in Spanish. I got it during the pandemic, and I was gonna use it for the first time, and then the pandemic happened. So it still feels very new to me. This is a 10-inch tom. This is a 12, and then usually I go for a 14 here, but right now for live, I'm using a 16, and this is an 18. So I just can get that deep sound. I use the toms a lot, for main rhythm parts. So I really wanted to get that depth in there. My bass drum actually is a little bit shorter in depth. This is 2214 bass drum. My snare is a hand-hammered Black Beauty. As you can see, she's a beauty. I really like the snare. I've been using it for kind of a short time. It was actually a gift, so I'm very happy with it. It has a very deep sound. It sounds gritty. It depends on obviously how you tune it, but my drum tech Carlos always gets just such a beautiful hard-hitting sound out of it. I use clear pinstripe Remo heads, again 10, 12.
And believe it or not, guys, you do have to tune drums up. They're little, you have a drum key. It's almost like a little T, and it has a thing on there. You put it right on the nut, and you just go around. They have stuff you can put on there. They'll tell you the tension, so you get an equal tension all the way around. I do know a little bit about drums. I can play a little bit, some easier stuff, but definitely nothing like from The Warning. So just a tidbit for you as a gear nerd. You can see where her thumb is. There's little. If you look forward from that probably would be one of the little screws to tune the head. But you can see them around the drum kit. Whenever you see that long piece of metal, that's where you tune your drums, and they're all around each head. And I found that out because buying a few acoustic drum sets, I had to put them together and then tune it up and everything. So super cool. Fun fact, right?
16, 18 on the snare. I used a controlled sound coded one from Remo. So the tuning, especially in the toms, usually varies. These are usually tighter, so I can get a good bounce from it. It sounds higher, but these ones are usually kind of tricky sometimes because I like them very loose. I like them deep sounding, but sometimes we get a lot of resonance. But Carlos, my drum tech, has this very cool trick. I don't know if you can see inside the drum, there are cotton pads. We use those to remove our makeup after the shows, and Carlos one day he just put them there, and it really dampens the sound, but it doesn't mute it completely, so that's great. So I can get them a little bit loose without it being a complete mess for our sound engineer. So I am a Sabian artist, and I use HHX.
I would imagine those little pads down there would kind of dampen that vibration. If it's too loose, it'll kind of give a rattle. And it would be a total nightmare for a sound person to be like, But anyway, she's a Sabian artist. Let's jump back in.
All over my drum kit. This is an 18 HHX. This is a 16. This is also 18, the Ozone Evolution, and a 20 China. This is a 14. I use this on very few songs, but it does make a huge difference because I keep this a little bit more close than I do this one. So every time I just want to ride over here when I'm doing double bass pedal things. I do. I use this one. This is a little splash. I love it. I don't use it as much as I would like to, but hopefully in newer songs I can incorporate it more. My ride, it's a raw bell dry ride, 21, and she's a beauty. This is my absolute favorite cymbal ever. I've been using it for years, I think for like 6 years now, and it has such a cool sound. I crash a lot all the time, but I used to have just a normal, like another HHX over here, but this, it just sounds so much darker, so it really cuts through like the brightness of these HHX ones. I just incorporated this cowbell, this LP cowbell, to my drum kit because our new single More has a part with cowbell, and it's really fun using it. I haven't used a cowbell in like years, and it has like its little tricks because sometimes it just like really falls, but it sounds so cool, and it's just really fun to just like drive in that. I love it. I am a big Firth artist. I use 5B barrel tip. I just changed drumsticks actually. I used to use 5A, but I'm a very hard hitter, and I wanted to stop, like it just felt really light in my hands, so I got this heavier set, and I've been using it this whole year, and it has made such a good difference. I don't have to use as like much strength to get like a very hard, deep sound out of them. This DW rack that I have, it's actually been like very modified by my dad. My dad like loves hardware, and it used to be like a little bit too large for me, so he like grabbed like a saw and just started cutting everything to my size, and everything is just like so meticulously measured and marked, so like every time that we're touring, like my drum tech and everyone in production can just set everything up really.
But again, she's smart using the bar instead of like all the stands, because man, when you use all those stands, your drum kit, it grows like so fast, because the more stuff you add with stands, the drum kit just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And with this stuff, you can totally get more in there in a condensed area. It's super cool. It's a great trick. That I definitely know from adding cymbals and stuff. It was just like, wow, this drum kit is getting huge. And my son decided he didn't want to learn, so I just wound up selling it anyway. So go figure, right?
Really quickly, so it's very efficient. Every time we open for a band or something, we can get everything done in a very short amount of time, so we're not bothering anybody, and it's great. And it's also very comforting to arrive to each show knowing that the measurement of everything is going to be exactly the same each show, so you don't get like wonky drum sets. Sometimes it's all measured precisely. The pedal that I'm using is a Machine DW pedal. I used to use a direct drive from DW, but after they released the chain one, I prefer this one so much more. And it takes a while getting used to it, but once you get the hang of it, it's so easy to control. And again, I'm a very hard hitter, so it just comes back to me in such a easy way for me to like not hurt myself while I'm playing, and I just really love it. I've been using it for a while. In my hi-hat, I'm using 9000 DW. I'm a DW girl. And for my MIDI pedals, I'm using some Roland MIDI pedals. They're very heavy, which is great. So basically, I launch all of our like stems and click through Ableton. And I used to have to do it with like manually, but it kind of looked really like clunky. Like after every single song, I would have to go and click enter. So with these MIDI pedals, I can launch the whole show without anybody noticing. And I used to have like, I've been through so many MIDI pedals and MIDI pads, but these are so great because they're really heavy. So like, they're not going to be set off by like the slightest movement. They're like, it takes a good hit for it to change the scene. So they're fantastic. I have a start pedal and a stop pedal just in case something goes wrong. We're all human, so sometimes we need to stop.
Wow, I didn't even know they were using like MIDI pedals for like drums now. That's crazy. It's crazy cool, but it's crazy because you can get other sounds. Like Duran Duran always did, they had like that 80s drum pad, or you guys, I don't know if some of you remember like the electronic Simmons drum kits when they started coming out. They just had a particular sound to them. And you can still see him. I know Rock Invader on his drum channel, he has them, he uses them. And it's such an 80s sound, but that's super cool. I mean, and it's really ingenious too to be able to do that, man, with drums. Awesome.
Click tracks. It's just so efficient for
love
everybody to have these systems, and it's fantastic. The drum throne that I use is the DW Airlift 9000. It's great. I use it in the lowest setting because I'm really short, but it's really comfortable. I love it. For in-ears, I use in-ears audio. They are fantastic. Usually we grow them out really quickly, but these have just like really lasted. And usually the problems that we have with in-ears is like the cables at one point, like they just don't plug in correctly and you don't hear stuff. But these ones have lasted wonderfully. What I hear the most in my mix is the bass, because me and my sister are just like really connected when we're playing. So having that, like those bass ends, just like really makes a big difference. For my kick block, I have a kick block because I hit it very hard and usually it just goes so far. Sometimes, like when we didn't have a kick block, sometimes Carlos, my drum tech, would just have to be like there in front of the drum just like for it to not move. So that is a lifesaver and I love it. So that was my gear run through.
Awesome.
Once again, we are The Warning. Our webpage is called thewarningband.com. We are The Warning Band on all social media, so go check us out. Thank you for watching.
That's super cool, don't you think? And I have totally said ever since I started reacting to The Warning that Pow hits. She's a really heavy-handed drummer. And she just, I gotta like this. This is super cool. And again, thanks to Digital Tour Bus. Super cool. I don't know if they did these things or not, but who cares? It's cool. It's on their channel, so you gotta give credit where credit's due. Awesome. Again, I'm not a big drum guy, but yeah, for me it was weird because I had a double bass on the last acoustic set, and I could get that double bass just cranking, but trying to coordinate the bottom with the top wasn't happening for me. Super cool, great explanation by Pow. She got her Pow bell. I mean, it's super cool. And again, like I say, she's a heavy hitter. So the sticks, getting heavier sticks will make it easier for her. You get those light sticks. The way she hits, it's not really that difficult to have a stick fly out of your hand or whatever. So, very smart girl. I love her, guys. It's The Warning, guys. You've been warned, and we'll see you soon.